Hi, Peter Charles here, Hooked for Life Fly Fishing. And today, let's take another look at fly reels. And this time we're going to look at whether we want a sealed drag on our reel or an unsealed drag or a not sealed drag. And I have two reels here, and these are trout size reels that hold 3-weight, 4-weight lines. This is a Danielson FW26, meant for 2-weight to 6-weight, ideally 3 to 4-weight. And this is an Orvis CFO. Which one is, I think it's CFO 1. No. Can't see it. Need my glasses on. CFO 3. Okay. So we got a Orvis CFO 3, Danielson 2.6. Basically the same capacity, pretty close. Danielson may be a bit bigger. But they're trout reels. And what really differentiates them beyond the arbor, because this is a standard arbor, this is a large arbor, but beyond that, what really differentiates them is the fact that the drag on the Danielson is sealed down to 20 atmospheres, okay? Up to 20 atmospheres, this will take pressure. This is not sealed, it's open to the elements. Basically what it means is when you dunk this reel, water will get in the drag. When you dunk this reel, water will not get in the drag. Now, the biggest reason for having sealed drags is salt water. If you're going to fish salt water, having a sealed drag is very important. My son and I have lived that already. We were fishing Cape Cod. He was using a reel that was supposed to be saltwater capable, but the drag was not sealed. And the carbon plate that worked against the back plate started to basically come apart. It turned into sort of black powder, which then turned into a lubricant. He had no drag till I took it apart and cleaned it up. It wasn't saltwater capable. So the biggest reason, if you're going to go fishing in saltwater, there's only two kinds of drags you should be looking at. One is the old-fashioned cork drag with the lubricant on it, and the other one is a sealed drag. If you go with an unsealed drag, you're into trouble. You'll get corrosion, you'll get salt buildup inside, or in the case of my son's reel, the drag plate started coming apart and turned into black dust. So, well, salt water can do a lot of damage. But these are freshwater reels. Do we really need a sealed drag for freshwater? What is the benefit here? Well, if I was using it in really cold weather where icing is a problem, definitely the sealed drag has a better choice. But I could get away with having an unsealed drag in sub-zero, or I should say sub-freezing temperatures, Celsius and Fahrenheit. But for practical reasons, I would think the sealed drag gives you a little bit greater longevity versus an unsealed if you're in the habit of not cleaning your reels and dunking them frequently. If you're putting your reel in the water, let's say to free tangles and that sort of thing, and you don't clean it afterwards, yeah, after a while, these can get in bad shape. I actually had one that I bought used, and the drag was trash. I had to send it to Orvis to get cleaned because it had been dunked multiple times and had never been cleaned, and it was a mess. So I couldn't even take it apart. I had to send it to Orvis for them to get it apart so they could actually repair it. So when you're talking about the sealed versus unsealed for freshwater, in normal fishing temperatures, above freezing fishing temperatures, really where we get down to is how well you take care of your reels, how often you dunk them, whether the water you're dunking them in is dirty or clean. That sort of thing. It's more of a maintenance issue. These are more maintenance free. Once they're sealed, I mean, unless you open them up and expose the drag to the elements, you're not going to likely have much of a maintenance issue over the life of the reel. The only thing I would mention is when you're looking at sealed reels, there is usually a recommended way to remove the spool. And in this case, you loosen this knob. You don't remove it. You just loosen it, and now you can take the spool off. I can just, didn't loosen it enough. There we go. Spool comes off. So that knob here, just loosen it off, and you can remove the spool. So when you are, dealing with sealed reels, generally they're made so you don't have to undo them to get the spool off. Of course, with an unsealed reel, the removal of the spool is usually much easier. You've got a little latch on the front. You just pull that and it just slides off. So that's the other benefit of having an unsealed drag. Usually the spool removal is very simple. And putting a spool back on is just as simple. Just push it on and it's fine. So take it off, get the fly line out of the way, and push it back on. And you're good to go. So those are the sorts of things that you want to consider if you're looking at unsealed versus sealed drag. I would say for freshwater use, boils down to maintenance. The sealed drags tend to be maintenance free. You never have to worry about cleaning them, especially if you're in the habit of dunking your reels. And in saltwater, you just go with either the sealed drag or the old-fashioned cork drag. Don't go into the saltwater with an unsealed drag. You'll end up with a problem. So that's basically the difference between sealed and not sealed drags. Cheers.